Well, hello, happy Friday. Welcome back. Can you almost feel the magic tingling today? I bet you did not start out the day going, I'm going to be making some magic. Unless you were reading ahead yesterday and knew today was Magic Ritual Day. Doesn't that sound good? Just being able to wave a magic wand and create those days that are awesome. I think that outlook on life where you can perform magic as needed is one that is a powerful place to be. And that is what we're going to do today. Not Wiccan magic, and I'm not a witch, I'm a hypnotist, but your potential is locked in your unconscious until you wave that magic wand. And it literally, not figuratively, actually literally feels like magic when you tap into it. And that's what we're going to be working on today. So let's get a little situated. How did that go yesterday? I am really curious. There's something truly delightful about being excited to do a task that in the past you felt was tedious or overwhelming. And submodality work, that work where we say, okay, make it this, make it that, make it bigger, brighter, closer, makes it tangible. Those things that used to be out of reach literally become in reach. Boy, I'm using literally a lot today, aren't I? Maybe just because I want you to know that your magic is real. It's kind of like opening up a file that was buried. You're cleaning out your file system and you see this thing that you'd put on the back burner and forgotten all about. Make a couple of edits, bring it up to date, and then put it on your desktop so it's front and center and it's fresh in your mind every day. That's what submodality work can do for you in those tasks. Now, this is normally something I do one-on-one with clients. So if you're like, this was weird and wonky, I don't know. There's a few things that we can play with there. And I would never tell you in advance because you need to trust you in order for it to work. If you have broken rapport with your unconscious mind, if you've ignored your intuition too many times, if you have suggested something to yourself and then not followed through, like, I'm not going to have that second piece of cake, and then you did. It can be a little while reinitiating it. It does not mean you cannot rebuild that rapport. It just means you want to be aware that there are some things that can get in the way so that you can work on them. So do you believe in your power? This week is all about proving to you that you have that power, that it is right there, that you can access it, you can turn it on. So today we look at own your day. How, when you own your day, you own your life, you own your vision. It is in the day-to-day work that your vision comes to life. It's not in those big spurts. It's not in those moments where you have to finalize something or achieve something bold and exciting and huge. It's bold and exciting and tiny. So what have we done so far? Well, right from day one, we stepped out of negativity, stopped looking at what your weaknesses are and what to fix, and looked at the positive. We stepped out of tactics and busy work. We stepped into your core strengths by discovering them and be building awareness of them and then tying them intentionally into your day, into your habits, and then into those tasks that you need to do. So we identified your 3 daily tiny tasks that will automatically create your business vision, bring it to life. You committed to making them non-negotiable yesterday. You then powered up those tiny tasks and tied them to the feeling of having your vision of success met, to make them so super desirable, make them so fired up with energy that thing there you're like, meh. Now it's like, yes. And as you do it, that sense of I'm on my mission, I'm on a journey to create my success is tied to that little teeny tiny thing that used to feel so small, maybe even a little difficult, is now exciting. And you're starting to get really good at this intentional thing already. Today, own the day, the magic ritual that proactively, positively reminds you that you are confident and bold, that you are strong, that you are the creator of your reality. Get you back to your natural state of being, like you were when you were learning how to walk. Why do I call it magic? Because when you bring the inner power of your unconscious mind to life, it does feel that way. So just as we started this challenge with the premise and the promise that Those days, those good days where you felt so lucky and everything went right, we want the emphasis to be on felt, not on lucky, right? That you felt lucky. Because you don't need the magic, and if you're not a Harry Potter fan, I'm sorry, but you don't need the magic of Felix Felicitas to give you good luck, or God forbid, Polyjuice Potion to turn you into someone that you are not. You are already, in your own authentic way, powerful. You can intentionally create those days that you feel lucky with a magic ritual that unlocks your potential, your unconscious, and your own magic. It deliberately pushes out the negative and hyper-focuses and powers up the positive and pulls you toward your passion and your vision. When you start the day in possibility instead of necessity and anxiety, and focus in with strength as your foundation all day long. That doesn't mean reminding yourself constantly. It means getting your unconscious mind on board. Check. And having that carry you through the day. And in fact, in some ways, it doesn't matter what goes here in your magic spell. Carrying out the magic spell is the important part. What matters the very most is short-circuiting necessity, anxiety, that, when you open your eyes in the past and would say, oh my God, I've got to get up. I've got this to do. I've got that to do. I wish I could sleep some more. All that, we just get rid of it. It doesn't exist in your life anymore. You wake up and you are energized. You are stretching into a new day of possibility every day. Energized, excited, and present. Remembering that this is the only day you are alive. This one. With a plan for being empowered and living your business bliss. With actions that you choose instead of reactions that you allow to be foisted on you, which will happen. In the absence of a plan, somebody else's plan is going to start working in your day. You own the day instead of it owning you. And that's a choice. That's a decision that needs a little bit of backup. It needs you to know that you have the tools in place to do it. And then it's there. So you may have heard of the 5 a.m. Club and the Miracle Morning. I think this is why they work. And they are not the only thing that works. Thank goodness, right? If you're not a 5 a.m. person, I do love my 5 a.m., but I didn't used to. Especially in the summertime, waking up with the birds outside my window. Love that. But if you're part of the 10 a.m. club, if that's what works for you, that's what will work for you. Owning the day can happen in a fraction of a second, in a single action that is filled, powered up, oozing with intent, tied together with your strengths and your vision where you're fully present. We want to intentionally build those moments. Doesn't that sound great? I love that. And if you're not experiencing joy many times every day, you're doing life wrong. Stop it. Come do this stuff. My magic ritual takes 12 minutes. Let me walk you through it, just to give you an example of what you're about to build. It brings me present into the powerful realization that I am alive, profound and small, that I have choice. I am filled with courage and compassion and creativity. I seek out and support community and collaboration. I am super excited, filled with zest and gratitude. And I wonder what I will discover today. In all honesty, it actually takes 2 seconds now to fill with that state, with all those resources, because I've anchored it. I've done the ritual often enough. I only have to think about the ritual. I don't need the full 10 minutes to put that state on at the beginning of the day and remind my unconscious mind, this is it. This is the day. This is my day. And it only ever is, isn't it? The 12 minutes are the actions that remind my reticular activating system more of this, that I am 100% committed to my reality and that I'm taking responsibility to create it. Got to work with the brain, not just the heart, the soul, and the mind. This ritual alters my brain chemistry naturally, because when you do the physiology of an emotion, of a state, it creates the brain chemistry of it. And it fires up the parts of my brain that I want to have online, right? Don't go sleeping over there. I want integrity. I want curiosity. I want compassion online and active as the filters of my day, because that filters in the brilliance and filters out the negative. I'm not unaware of when things go wrong. I'm just poised when they do. And it reminds me to show up as me today. So what do? I drink a glass of water to energize and feel it fill me with zest. So there's an intention to the action in each case, right? I do this to feel this. When you're looking at your worksheet today, you'll actually see I do this to feel this. Sometimes I will use hypnosis to magically infuse the water with a specific resource first, especially if it's like a big day where I'm like, I shall be bold. I'll just fill it with boldness and then drink it and feel myself swallowing the boldness and letting it spread through my body. And the water itself, intentionally choosing water first, replenishing my body and fueling the day. Then I stretch for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. I articulate my spine and move every muscle in my body. Get alive, feel it. This is not when I exercise. That happens at 4 o'clock. My body, not a morning exercise. I have other things that my body is great at doing in the morning, other things that my mind wants to engage with in the morning, and I honor that in myself. Then I read for 5 minutes. I read a lot, but in my morning ritual, I read for 5 minutes something inspiring to activate my growth mindset and my curiosity and my desire for lifelong learning. And to turn on inspired, because I love to feel inspired. That is a feeling of truly alive and joy blended together for me. Then I pause to intentionally activate inspired in my body. I know what that feels like. Make it so, right? Why not? Feeling it fill my mind and my body. Then I journal for 5 minutes to build a sense of I am living my life in context. I know where I am. I know where I've been and I know where I'm going. And self-compassion. My journal reminds me, so I've actually kind of anchored, other than I've anchored self-compassion to the journal itself. So when I pick it up, it's lit up in my mind. And I create my lofty question in the journal that activates all of my strengths and the outcome I'm seeking for the day. I just want to take a second on lofty questions. When we ask ourselves questions, our unconscious mind throws our resources in to answer them. If it's, why is this happening to me? What's wrong with me? Your unconscious mind just spends the day working on figuring that out and looking for proof that it's true. Let's not do that anymore. So you'll see in the worksheet today, the lofty question is, why is it so easy for me to create deep, meaningful connections with my referral partners and to collaborate in creative and abundant ways today, now? That's what I want my unconscious mind working on today. So then once I've got that lofty question, my unconscious mind can just go to work on that. That's what unconscious minds do. They like to answer questions and they will just keep working on it. Now, often I'll cross-pollinate from what I read to the journaling, which is exciting for me because I am very creative at heart. And then I finish up with an instruction to the unconscious mind to run these intentions and weave them through everything I pursue today. Then I very slowly step into the next part of my day with my mind slow and curious. Grateful that I have such a luxury of time and the freedom to use it as I wish. I recognize I am making all the choices I am living right now. Even if I only have 5 more minutes, I look at that as luxury. Next up is that 1 cup of caffeinated coffee. I mindfully drink it. Bonus if the sun is rising at that point. Then a walk or a bike ride. And you'll notice in there I mentioned zest, growth mindset, and gratitude. I weave those into this ritual because what has been found is if you look at people who have happy lives, they have all those things. They have deliberately included zest. Make yourself feel alive. Choose to do that. If you need to dance and sing at the top of your lungs to feel alive, then that should happen at least once a day, maybe more. A growth mindset. What could I learn today? And of course, gratitude, which is not, I'm so happy I live in Canada, blah, 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 blah. Gratitude is noticing those moments of truly alive, noticing those moments of abundance, and just being grateful for them. Those moments when you feel truly alive are gratitude moments. The layout of the rest of my day is just based on my flow of energy, my brain power, and honoring myself. I know when I'll start work, when I'll finish work each day. I have boundaries. That's kind of cool too. We can talk about that sometime. I block off time in the morning from 7 to 10 to carry out my creative stuff because that's when I love to be creative. And it's enough time to put in like a 60 to 90-minute block to work on a goal, because it takes knowing you have that amount of time to really get into flow. And we can talk about flow another time too, because flow is an incredibly healing state to deliberately employ. So I do encourage, if you are curious about this, do reach out to me. So let's unpack this for your magic ritual. It doesn't need to be an hour long, but it can be. It can be an hour and a half long. It's about what works for you. It's not about getting anything done, but if you build in getting some things done because that works for you, then that works for you. It is about activating your strengths, recognizing that you're creating your own reality, and it's about owning your day. And it starts with a trigger, something that you can count on happening every day, that you will do, non-negotiable. That trigger. Now, that's not something that you're going to make. You're already doing it. Your alarm goes off. You brush your teeth. You have a shower. You have a coffee. You sit down in that chair. You approach your desk. You open your computer before you check your email. That's a trigger that you can count on. It is something that is going to be already happening in your routine, a behavioral trigger that when you do it, from now on, you'll say, and next I will. So you'll see that I built a flowchart in your worksheet. I probably should have been sharing the screen for this, sorry, but you can download this right now. It is in your inbox. That the behavioral trigger leads to this. And then when I do this, when I drink water, I notice that I am. That is the time to deliberately activate and notice your strengths, notice your zest, notice the power that you're pulling into your day. And you can build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do more. And then at the bottom of the page, you'll see that there's a space for your lofty question for the day. And the sample's right there. So you can be motivated by that. I also included your joy activators in there to remind you of zest and growth and gratitude, so that as you go fill that out, you can situate yourself right within your magic spell with all the elements, the Eye of Newt and the fairy dust all included. So for you, what behaviors require you to be in your strengths? You've already practiced with this a little bit, and you can go back to day 2 for inspiration. Notice how even the things you already do can be reminders that you activate your strengths. And you can then choose some things that are on your to-do list, on your goal list to activate your strengths. But we want to take it to your minimum viable action. And we'll talk more about this on Monday when we're doing that quantum power up side of things. But a minimum viable action is, what's the smallest thing you can do? And we'll talk about on Monday, actually. If you are the kind of person who works out, what's the minimum action? Put on your workout clothes every day. Take them off again. When you do that every day, your reticular activating system goes, wow, I get up in the morning and I put on my workout clothes. That's the kind of person I am. Remember, telling your reticular activating system what is important so that it makes you see and do and be more of that. So maybe you're writing a book. That might activate your generosity as you give your wisdom to people. You share it with people. Your creativity as you build something. Your perseverance as you continue forward. Right? Those strengths from that sheet, your top 3. So what's a minimum viable action for this? Write 1 page. Write for 15 minutes. I would schedule this at the end of your ritual, because here's a fun thing that happens. Remember, when you do creative, you feel creative, and this can easily turn into an inspired writing session. Even if before you started the ritual, you're like, I don't want to write today. This will happen. This is how you're designed. How about dependability? Carrying through on promises you make to yourself and others. What's the minimum viable action you can do to activate that strength? Spend 5 minutes capturing what you promised yesterday and schedule a time block into your calendar to carry through on it. Leadership, supporting others in their growth and projects. Minimum viable action, write a thank you note. Congratulate or appreciate someone for what they did yesterday. I like this one. Can you imagine hundreds of notes that you'll write each year? That is so encouraging as you activate in others their awareness of their contribution and support. Enthusiasm, choosing to bring energy and passion to your day. Minimum viable action. Say, I'm super excited about what my epic adventure of life is going to bring my way today. Feel it. Remember the feeling of super excited, maybe from a specific event or from an anchor to the emotion that's in your body. If you've anchored excitement, say, to this gesture, fire it off and feel it. Teeny tiny action. And then write your lofty question to go with that. You may want to write a new lofty question each day, or you may want to run with one for 30 days. I like that version because it just builds on each other. So your job is to design your magic ritual and decide when it will happen. When is ideal? Right after something you know will always happen, and preferably earlier in the day. So for me, my alarm on my phone goes off. It's over there. I have to get out of bed to go turn off the alarm, and right there is a glass of water right beside it, all ready for me in room temperature, which is how I like my water. Get up, turn off the alarm, drink the water. What if I had the phone beside me? It's not as non-negotiable that I get out of the bed when the alarm goes off, is it? So really the non-negotiable needs to be getting out of bed and getting over to the water. Because if I just roll over, smack the alarm, where did the ritual go? So make it easy for yourself. Design the ritual. And step one is figure out what trigger you'll use. Don't choose one that you do just before rushing out the door into a day of chaos. If you brush your teeth and run out the door, don't fool yourself into believing that you will make time then. That is not the easy way. And I like to make things really easy for you. You might already be thinking, once this ritual's in my life, I could add another at 5 p.m. to put me in parent mode and bring out my parenting strengths, and another after dinner to get into spouse mode and bring out, well, you know. Aren't those wonderful places to show up confident and bold and intentional? So let's start with this today. Your challenge, design your worksheet. Live it for Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and Monday morning. And I would love if you come back to quantum level this. This in itself is an entire training, an entire transformational shift. And I want to take this with you on Monday and Tuesday and just up level it. Now, here's a hint too. If you're saying, I don't have time for this, my goodness, you need it. If you don't have time to make your day intentionally feel like you are the luckiest person in the world, because you are, then you need this more than anyone else. And just reach out to me, book a free coaching session, because you need to recover your brilliance and your worthiness and your love for self and life. And it's there. And come back Monday at 11:30, and we will add quantum magnification to it Monday and Tuesday. Remember to reach out if you would benefit from help with this, because I am here for your transformation. Have a great weekend. And if you're in Canada, have a great